Today we're talking about Dinner with the Enemy. So what this show is a new Virgin Media TV show where I think 10 contestants with opposing political opinions sit around a table, have dinner together day by day. I watched the second episode last night. I think there's like 6 or 7 episodes in total, or 10 episodes. It's great to see. You have Ben Scallon from Grip Media, more right-leaning. You have other left-leaning people. You have some crazy liberal, woke liberals as well, which is amazing to see. And people like Dermot in the show were cooked, but I believe pretty much everything Dermot said, apart from a few different things talking about the Middle East, which was a bit wild. But Dermot definitely had the more radical opinions in the show, which, truth be told, I think some of the opinions of people are being held back. Hopefully as the show progresses, people will get more argumentative, because it seems pretty tame right now. But yeah, there's some crackpots, lefty loonies on the show as well. But today we're going to be listening to Sophie McGuinness and Ben Scallon talk about awkward moments from the first 2 episodes of Dinner with the Enemy. So stay tuned, this one's going to be good.
Hello, you're very...
Wait, hold on a second. Man, I used to watch Ireland AM for like 12 years, 13 years growing up, since the age of like 10 or even younger, like from like 9 years old up to like 18, I watched Ireland AM every morning, only for like 30 minutes before school, primary school, secondary school. And I haven't watched it in like 10 years, so that kind of brings me back actually. I can't believe Ireland AM is still running. Jesus.
Hello, you're very welcome back to Ireland AM. Now, the second episode of Virgin Media's Dinner with the Enemy, it's on tonight at 9 p.m. and we're joined now by, I think we can say they're all big personalities, but these two are big personalities and they've just met each other for the first time since they filmed.
And we've tried to create as much space between Ben and Sophie as we can. But before we chat to you both, let's take a look at Dinner with the Enemy.
Bang. Everything has just gone to PC now.
Shots fired. Why do people have dehumanizing views?
The far left is far more damaging than the far right.
Over 5 evenings, 10 complete strangers will have dinner together.
We exist within echo chambers.
And so we really need more talk, more discourse.
Divided by their views, the experiment is designed to take the online world offline and see what happens when we meet eye to eye.
You can sit and cry about being fat and overweight, or you can get up and do something about it.
What's factually untrue about what I just said?
So you wanna start
Watched on by psychotherapists Dr. Richard Hogan and Daniela Moyles.
That's not the same.
One thing I wanted to say is those two psychologists, I don't believe in psychology. I think it's all bullshit, guys. Therapy is nonsense. Just talk to your family, talk to your friends about your issues, or, just work harder. Raw action solves everything, in my personal opinion. I don't believe that the psychology of this show impacts it whatsoever. Like, the two psychologists on this show are completely woke, completely left-wing, and everything that the right say, they're like, oh, that's so terrible. They both have a left-wing bias. Okay, they're not impartial whatsoever, which is terrible. But I would love to be on the show, so Virgin Media, hit me up. Okay, we got a lot of viewers that would love to see me on this show, I believe, so.
Daniela Moyles.
That's not the same.
No one is listening to the other.
Oh, I know it. Last week,
It's like us in the morning, isn't it? No one is listening.
It starts again tonight. See episode 2, but join us now on the couch is content creator Sophie McGuinness and journalist Ben Scallon. Good morning.
Good morning, guys.
Morning. Both right. Episode 1 was last week. Going into episode 2, tell us a little bit, Ben, quickly. What is Dinner with the Enemy all about?
I would say Dinner with the Enemy is a bit like taking a load of wasps and putting them in a box and then just shaking it, in the sense that you've got 10 people with radically different backgrounds and beliefs on all sorts of issues, all very opinionated for the most part. I don't think there were too many. Yeah, not a lot of introverts at the table, which was a whole other dimension to it as well. And you then present them with a whole variety of topics over dinner that they have to discuss. And it's all the things that you're usually told you should avoid. They typically say, don't talk about politics, don't talk about religion, things like that. The producers, in an almost evil way, will steer the conversation into all of those kinds of contentious, meaty topics that polite people tend to avoid. And just see what comes out of that as a social experiment. So, yeah.
As Richard said in the voiceover there, we have become a world where we can be one thing online and very different when you're looking at someone face to face, because we're humans, and online, you know, you can be anonymous, you can be anything. So this is trying to bring humanity back into this sort of discourse. Sophie, why did you want?
This is the one thing I've noticed about Irish mainstream media. Wait, hold on. Where's my t-shirt gone? Much better. Mainstream media loves to talk about how when you're on the internet and you have radical opinions or different opinions from the mainstream, then you're going to be an anon account. I'm not anon. I've had literally my face on this channel for the last 4 or 5 years or whatever, 4 years, 3 years. So yeah, that's the mainstream media. They're always like, oh, well, if you have radical opinions, you're always this anon account. No, not really. Not in 2025. Most people have their face on the internet talking about these issues, guys.
Do this.
Because I've always been very vocal and opinionated on my views from when I was a child. Like, I'd be at one of family parties, they'd be like, oh, here she comes at 10, challenging the adults' views, or I'd challenge a teacher's views. And like, I've never been, I'm always on the right side of justice, I feel. So I'm just always very passionate and opinionated. So I've always wanted to do TV as well. So I was like, but if I do TV, I want to use like my intellectual side and talk about topics in society that I care about, not like just kissing people throughout a show. Do you know that way? Mm-hmm. So when I got...
no Love Island for you. She's like, I'm not doing Love Island.
When I got reached out to for this, I was like, this is my dream show. Yeah. And also like arguing with men over dinner, like my dream.
Argue with men, big feminist, stay clear.
Okay, well, so episode 1, immigration, was the topic, as you say, tricky topics to try and discourse and give your own view on. The two of you did butt heads a little bit in the first episode. How was that, trying to open up these conversations? And actually, whenever you hear Richard Hogan talk, it's important to talk and be able to express our views and potentially take on views that you wouldn't normally like to hear.
I bet deep down Tommy Bowe is super right-wing. I couldn't be 100% sure in that, but I have a feeling Tommy Bowe, he just seems like an absolute lad. Like, he seems like he agrees on all that stuff, you know?
It was really fun, frankly, to spar with Sophie and everybody else at the table. My mother's from Jamaica, so I was of a more immigration critical perspective, and then obviously Sophie has her background and she came from a more pro-immigration perspective. So I thought it was a nice microcosm of some of the debates.
Unexpected as well, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
People see us kind of...
Exactly, yeah.
Because you think you'd be on the same side as me almost.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's it. Like, she said, I think that you'd be on the same side as me, because if you're half mixed race or whatever, then you have to be pro-immigration. You have to be pro-flooding the country full of randoms. Like, look at Tayam Mercer. I'll be honest, Tayam is my favorite person on the show. Like, the dude is a legend. He's based. Everything he says, he's just perfect. He can be quite harsh as well, which I think maybe some people are holding back a little bit. But definitely you see how people want to put you into a category. Well, I'm half. My mum's an immigrant. So, but my dad is from Ireland. So shouldn't I be more left-leaning if I'm half Eastern European or whatever? No, that's not the case, lads. This is the kind of shit category they want to put you into if you're any bit not 100% Irish. Like, everybody I know from Africa, from Latin America, from Asia, South Asia, Far East Asia, they're all right-wing. Only European people and North Americans are left-wing. Truly, guys.
So it kind of shows that these things don't divide evenly, and that it's like a microcosm of the debates that are happening broader in society, because these conversations are happening at dinner tables around the country, and if they aren't, in many cases they should be, because if you have a fundamental disagreement with your relatives, your friends, you should feel free to tell them that and let them know, you know, that
True.
It's not the kind of thing
but
that
these conversations probably aren't happening.
That's what I
know in the clip they're talking about. There's very much echo chambers we're being kept into now, and it's probably good to open up these conversations.
There's people that are probably in each other's lives over 40 years and haven't had any of these conversations that we're having at the table.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, don't know their friends' or family's political views when it comes to race, religion.
So let's talk about...
I'm not against any race or any religion. I'm for common sense, and so is everybody on the right, guys. If you're this far left woke psychopaths, they're the minority, guys. Normal people like myself, we're not hateful, okay? We're just common sense, and that's what you should be.
That little bit, because before, it might have been, in my parents' generation, impolite to ask who you voted for.
Yeah.
You know, it was impolite. And you could be friends with people who had all different views from you. We could get along. Whereas now it feels like perhaps that you can't, that you have to have an opinion on everything. Sophie, do you feel you have to have an opinion on everything, or some days can you go, no, I'm grand, lads?
I don't.
People tell me, they're like, Chris, why'd you have to be fighting with everything? I don't want peace. I want problems always, okay?
I don't want peace. I want problems always.
I really feel like ignorance is bliss. I feel like if you're a member of society, you have a right to care, and I feel like you're obligated to have an opinion on
everything.
I don't think that you should just be like, oh, I'm going to sit out on this one.
Right.
And would you
I don't think.
But do you think it's getting a bit exhausting now because it's 24/7 news and it's opinionated news and it's not always unbiased and these are the facts of a situation, it's coming with a point of view. So Ben, do you think it can be exhausting for people to be, oh my God, I just want 5 minutes where I can sit down and chat with my friends?
Yeah, I think that politics does in many ways create artificial barriers between people, because one of the biggest things, and like you referenced social media, if all the conversations that we had taken place in a WhatsApp group chat instead of there at a table in person, it would have been carnage way beyond what we actually saw on the show. But
I think that the mainstream media is creating this divide, and I'll explain why. You know, they keep saying, oh, it's in everything. Well, only this woke liberal left agendas are in sports. Like they put LGBT armbands on players in soccer and American football and all these different sports. It's like they're trying to push politics and everything. Whereas when you watch down sports, so if you watch a movie, they're making movies woke as well. When you watch a movie or play sports, you want to be taking a step back from that. The mainstream media and the woke left are pushing all these radical ideas on people.
When you're talking to somebody and you're talking about your life experiences, because one of the things as well that people should realize is it's not just contentious political issues. We also get into personal stuff
And
like,
there's lighthearted conversations as well.
Yeah, exactly. And like your values and experiences you might have had in your childhood and things like this, trauma, exactly. And when you start to get into that stuff, in addition to the politics, you start to understand
why someone thinks the way that they do.
Exactly. And then,
whereas you don't give someone the chance. Sorry, I'm crossing.
No, go on.
Well, interrupting.
You don't really give people the chance with social media. It's just straight blocked.
Okay.
Whereas we learned how to break bread with someone. You'd be like, you could never imagine sitting in someone's company that has these total opposite views, but like we'd be.
I can. I absolutely love people that have opposite views to me. I'm not hateful whatsoever. If you're left wing, center, extreme right, extreme left, I'll still hang out with you. I don't care personally. But definitely some people don't talk to me. Like, guys, I wish people don't talk to me. You know, you have some people like, oh, I'm afraid my girlfriend will break up with me, or my friends will stop talking to me if I have a political opinion. No, you're a little bitch. How about you grow a nutsack and not give a shit, guys? I don't give a bollocks, guys. I hope my friends leave me for my opinions. I hope so. And that's how you should be too, guys. Stand up for yourself. Don't be a little biatch.
Able to go for a drink and be fine.
Okay.
And also, I think as well, what's so important about that is that you realize you agree with people that you would never think you would agree with. People who you go like, oh, that person, I couldn't agree with them on a single thing. Yeah. And then as the topics come up and various issues,
might align on, and then you're fighting someone else on.
Exactly, yeah. You'll form like a weird alliance where you're like, wait a minute, we were screaming at each other 10 minutes ago.
And then you're smiling across the table like, oh, we're getting along. Oh, we're getting along too well. Like,
do you think? Because when I found from watching the show and previous iterations, that it is human interaction is so important, and we're placing so much emphasis on online, where things are being manipulated, where sometimes we are being manipulated. Is that something that you have taken away from it, Sophie?
No, mainstream media does that. They say we're being manipulated on the internet, but it's not true at all. The internet is just more free, that's all. With the mainstream media and these different people that are on mainstream media, they like to create a narrative. Like, take for instance, guys, the show itself I think is corrupt. They kicked Dermot off the show, okay? Now, Dermot would be definitely more right-leaning than maybe anybody on the show. But why was he kicked off the show, guys? He was kicked off the show because the majority of these left-wing people had a vote. And they're like, and they're creating a narrative on this Dinner with an Enemy show. I could see from the first 2 episodes, they're like, anyone that has any of these far-right extreme messages have to be kicked off the show. And not for nothing, guys, I happened to see who the show was sponsored by and who was regulated by and who paid to actually have it made. Commission Naman. Okay, who basically want to regulate your entire life and social media. Commission Naman are evil.
You think like human interaction is as important?
Oh, it's way more important. Yeah. I think online even brings a lot of fear mongering and false statistics and stuff. People throw out something on TikTok and someone might think that that's all of the details on that scenario, you know? So I think like it's so important to...
now that you've had these conversations, like, can you be respectful of other people's views?
No, Tommy Bo, that's the answer. If you're a far woke lefty, then goddamn it, we're going to war with you, you far left wokies. You killed Charlie Kirk. You're flipping trying to destroy this country, trying to censor the whole country. No, we can never be friends.
Because everybody has different opinions now. Is it important that, okay, this is what I believe, you believe something different? Are we able to respect each other now? Or
I think I can meet in middle ground with certain people, but there's certain people that I won't, like, no, I wouldn't respect their views if they're racist or give like fear-mongering information to people. Like, there's people also at the table that are pushing false information.
Right.
Nobody at the table that I could see was racist, quote unquote. I think that like very few people are actually like 100%. Everyone has prejudice against, you know, Chinese or this, or, you know, you can pick your own. Everybody has prejudice against different people. Absolutely everybody. Okay, including this girl, mixed race, whatever. Every single person does. It's just natural how it is. But nobody, I think the vast majority of people, and if they're racist, if they're like an ethno-nationalist, they're kind of an outlier, guys. That's like one person in like everybody. But because the far right, they think the right-wing people are ethno-nationalists, they think they're racist, when that's not true at all, guys. That couldn't be further from the truth.
Had an issue with them, Izzy.
Right.
Ben, you would have had an issue with them, Izzy.
I think Izzy more had a problem with me, was the way I would put that. But yeah, no, I think she was talking about how I'd allegedly blocked her on social media 10 years prior. 10 years ago, I was 17 or 18 years old for my leaving, so I don't even think I had a Twitter account, so I'm not sure about that. But
she said it to you. She was like, you know, you've blocked me. This is a very seeing something happen online coming up in real life. What was that like?
Yeah, as I say, I don't even recall it. I went into it with the view that I tend to take in life in general, which is trying to assume the best in people, and even if they have a view that I think is bad or wrong or even harmful, that I don't assume they believe that because they're an evil person.
Yeah, like that Izzy one is butch lesbian. She just started coming at Ben at the beginning of the show. She just started coming at him for no reason. Like, I would have stood my ground. Ben kind of pulled back a little bit. You know, I would have just absolutely stood my ground. Like, you know, I would have been like, this is crazy. That's why they'll never have me on this show. Like, you know, maybe I'm not Irish enough for them lads. I don't know what it is. You know, like maybe they're the racist ones towards me. You know, I'm trying to flip the script here. But, you know, Ben just was kind of being really polite and professional. I wouldn't be like that shit at all, guys. Like, you gotta have people put in their place. This Izzy one is going crazy. She's just saying the most radical left-wing, woke Marxist, neo-Marxist, communist stuff. I mean, it's absurd, guys. You know, and I would absolutely put her in her place.
That I go, look, either maybe they have had a totally different experience in life to me that has led them to this conclusion, or maybe they haven't had access to the same information that I have, or maybe they're right and I'm wrong. That's also a possibility, you know? And so leaving room for that, where you don't immediately just assume everybody who disagrees with me is nasty or horrible, I think is a big part of it.
What have you learned from it then?
I've learned to allow people to like finish their point before putting in or fully disagreeing, because there may be a part of it that you agree with, or they may have not worded it the way they were meant to in the first half of their statement. Yeah.
Would you do it again?
Oh, I would do it a million times. I would, yeah.
Totally, yeah.
Can I ask you about one incident that happened at the end of episode 1? And this was, because you do this vote. It's voted, someone's voted out of having dinner with ye. They have real life dinners, by the way, lads. Fancy, apparently.
Yeah,
fancy. So Dermot was voted out. Sorry if this is a spoiler, but you'll see it tonight. Dermot was voted out, Ben. Like he would block. Perhaps they're gone from your life. But Dermot didn't go.
Yeah, that's a little bit awkward, because usually, I mean, first of all, just the mere fact that you have to vote for somebody to leave. Like I voted for Sophie to leave, which was very awkward. Yeah, you know, nothing personal. You know,
but you have to know. You have to know who's voting you out. Yeah, you got to do
exactly,
it.
Exactly. You know, because you have to announce it to the group. You have to say, I want this person to leave for this reason.
But you can't be anonymous like you are online.
Exactly.
And then you voted for Sophie.
Yeah, you know, so this kind of thing, it adds a whole other dimension to it. And then also, once you realize that there is the possibility of being eliminated, how does that influence the way you interact with
Yeah.
everybody else because
Yeah.
you might have gone in like a bull in the china
I was like,
shop.
if I'm going home, Ben, I swear, plate was getting flung.
Did anybody throw food? I mean, dinner with the
I was like,
enemy,
there's no way I'm going home on episode 1.
a
Like,
steak being thrown.
One thing I've noticed about this show as well, most guys just cuck for the women because most women are like liberal, left wing, like 80% of women or whatever. But most guys just cuck for them. They're like, oh yeah, I agree with everything you're saying because they just want to get laid.
Across the table,
oh,
there
yeah,
was none of
absolutely.
that.
That's how it would have ended if I was going, absolutely.
Can I just ask, what was it like when they were like, oh, by the way, lads, you know, Dermot isn't
He's not
leaving
going.
the table?
I
Were
was
you-
like,
no! Well, what was that like in your head? Were you like, oh my God, this is so awkward, I want to crawl under the table?
Literally, yeah, because you have to face that person now for the rest.
So is that...
She nearly swore on national TV, morning TV, like... Man, come on. It's just unprofessional.
That's what is interesting about it. That
so
online
many-
you can block and silo and echo chamber as much as you can, but in real life you can't.
Yeah, it's like you're not running from your enemy here. Like, you can
Yeah.
run online, you can drop a hate comment under someone's post and even delete your own account when you're scared of being caught. Like,
Yeah.
so it's like there's no trolling and exiting here.
So what do you think we've learned from this?
To have uncomfortable conversations.
But do you think that you will?
Oh, yeah.
Like, has it changed your...
Then we're like, yeah.
Has it changed your opinion of, like, even on social media? Would you comment differently on social media or your content that you would create, either of you?
Yeah, I think I would have kind of known already some of the lessons that were taken away from the show, given that like the kind of the field that I'm in, I think anybody who's in media has had the experience of maybe criticizing somebody online and then you run into them the next week in a green room or something and you go, oh, well, this is kind of uncomfortable. So I think when you get a little bit older, more mature, you realize to just be careful about how you talk about people, even if you totally disagree with them, just because they are real people who you can walk into in real life. Ireland isn't that big a country, and you don't want to be in an uncomfortable situation, which
like on the sofa in Ireland.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, be professional at all times, guys. Okay, always be professional. For me personally, I think the show is a bit tame. I'll be honest, guys. I like the show. It's a bit tame. Like, obviously, some opinions haven't come out yet. It's only been the first episode or two, so I can't make a judgment yet. But at the end of the show, I'll definitely try and give my opinion again. Like, the show is good, guys. I'll be honest. Like, I like the show. It's entertaining. I don't find it extremely entertaining as I hoped it would be. But it is definitely really good. It's definitely a really good show. But yeah, I would love to be on the show. Everyone hit up Virgin Media and tell them to bring County Gains on the show, guys, to completely destroy the entire professionality of the show. Not to talk about clickbait, I definitely want to see it more extreme views, more people pushing the boundaries a little bit more. Because now it seems a little bit more tit for tat. You know, I want to see people give their opinions. It seems like Dermot was the only guy that really pushed his opinions at the first hurdle, you know. Maybe some people were holding back or trying to be more professional. Definitely seems like that. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. Much love to Ben Scallon. Keep giving them hell, brother. He is a great man, a great patriot of Ireland. So it's great to see the pushing of people. But definitely, guys, let me know your thoughts on that. If you want to support me as well, hit the join link underneath the video so I can help support you guys in return. And I will see you all for just €3 a month can help support me. Goes a long way to push back against the Irish mainstream media and the Irish government. And I'll see you guys all in the next one, man. Peace.